Our opinions aren't too tough, rough, or gruff. We are proof that you don't have to be an expert to have an opinion. So just
Shut up and sit down.
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff.
Welcome back. You guys excited? We had a little break there. We have the medical degenerate in full garb. I'm excited to see you.
Thank you. I could put my hat on too if you want.
No. Oh boy.
For any new listeners, this is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you're not getting the full effect of the costumes.
This
is not a costume, just to clarify. This is actually my life, but yeah.
I am Muff, the original degenerate. Along with us today is Jim, the Ohio Homer.
Hello.
And the obviously already named Alex, the medical degenerate.
That's me.
You even sound good like that.
Listen.
What if we had a whole YouTube show where Alex was just full garb?
I could get a paffer out, the big paffer suits. You get your own air supply hooked into them.
That would be perfect. All right, so this is a little bit different. Coming back from a week away.
Yeah. Did we do anything fun during that week?
Memorial Day was fun.
Yeah. I drank a little bit. Muff.
Yeah, Memorial Day was nice. This past weekend, I went on a golf trip to Deep Creek, Maryland. So
how'd you do, Muff?
It was a scramble. It was competitive, but let's just say it wasn't all about the golf.
So Muff got drunk. Good.
Never mind. I was gonna ask you an appropriate question. Really, you didn't.
We don't need inappropriate questions. I did something I haven't done in a long time.
Hole in one.
And no, I did witness a hole in one though. Somebody in our group got a hole in one, and I was witness. This is the third time I've witnessed a hole in one. I have never been the person that got it though. So
that's awesome.
Was that the thing you haven't done in a while?
The thing I haven't done in a while is
took a girl on a date.
Yeah, jokes all over here. No, I stayed up all night while we were doing other things too. But yeah, Thursday into Friday, stayed up all night. We had an 8 a.m. tea time. Let's just say
all night.
By Friday, by Friday mid-afternoon, I was on the Strugs bus.
Oh, I'm sure.
Way to go, Muff. Way to go.
Well, I'll rest it up.
Let's get into the sports talk. T's and P's to Marion Barber, former running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Cause of death is still to be determined, but T's and P's.
I was going to say, we have to clarify that he did actually pass away. It wasn't just because he had to play for the Cowboys.
Ooh,
burn.
Alex is snarky today.
Sorry, I'm very little sleep.
Snarky?
I can understand that.
The first thing to go after his sleep is the filter, so it's coming out, coming hot.
There's some information about Marion Barber's family potentially donating his body to CTE research. So,
that's really
cause of death unknown,
good
but
stuff.
Maybe something there to gain for posterity for future generations. Today is. What was that, Alex?
He said, as a medical degenerate, I appreciate that.
There you go. Today is Monday, June 6th. And as we said, we will do regular check-ins. The Pittsburgh Pirates are 24-28 after a win on Sunday over the Arizona Diamondbacks, and at this time are better than 10 other teams in Major League Baseball.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There is a chance. It's early. The All-Star break has not happened yet.
Yeah, that's what. Talk to me at the All-Star break.
Okay.
Let's get through mid-August and we'll see how we feel about all this. So
before we begin,
I
got to ask a question that's unsports related. Have we seen the new Top Gun?
I personally have not yet.
No, but I know other people that have.
Are we going to see the new Top Gun? Yes.
Yes.
Are we going to see the new Top Gun?
Yes.
Yes.
My girlfriend's son went and saw it, and he's like, Alex, have you ever heard of Top Gun? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I went and saw it in theaters. I'm like, you saw the new one? Yeah, in theaters. He's like, it was amazing. We have to go again. And I said, I'll one up you. We'll watch the original Top Gun together. He's like, there's an original Top Gun?
Oh,
So that's our assignment this week. We're gonna watch Top Gun together.
let us know how that turns out.
I will. I'll keep you
So
posted.
I ask you this because there's debate out there from somebody, one of my friends who just saw it, the original. Is the original a love story? Go.
It has a romantic dramatically romantic piece, but it itself is not a romance story.
Thank you, Muff. Alex.
That was gonna be my exact answer. Basically, there is romance in it, but it is not like a love story.
Thank you.
It is a movie that has a romantic background.
That's all I needed. Thank you, boys. We may move on with the rest of the show. The experts have spoken. That's what I needed. Let's roll. This is the off season.
You get closer and closer to blowing an aneurysm every time you do that.
That's why you're here, the medical degenerate.
I'll be in Columbus in 2.5 hours.
Alex, could you walk if you had to do something over a recording, could you walk Jim's wife through helping him?
In that situation, ain't nothing. 911.
That's just aside from get to hospital quickly.
If he blew his If he blew his arm up or something, I could be like, okay, now Joe, do you see that belt? Tourniquet. I could teach her how to make a tourniquet.
Aneurysm, I'm just boned.
Yeah.
All right. This is the NFL offseason. We now have 94 days until NFL football.
Yes.
Being in double digits instead of triple
so
digits
much better.
was my fancy.
So it's a good day.
This is a good day. We bypassed reaching that 100, obviously. Last week would have been 101. So we just went straight to the double digits, and I like it. So some tidbits from the last week, 2-ish. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Harvard-educated quarterback. Fitzmagic, the man, the myth, the legend, wearing them chains in the NFL, playing for 9 teams over 17 season, confirmed that he is retiring to the AP.
He's one of our guys. I feel like this is a sad moment.
I think it's time. I think this is a good time for him to retire. He hasn't done anything too horrible yet. He's had a memorable career. He's never a stud. He's not an elite quarterback, but he did enough to be memorable. Before you do something bad, bow out.
All right. That's fair. That's a nice take.
There we go. Other retirement news, Frank Gore signs a 1-day deal with the 49ers and then retires after 16 NFL seasons in the running back position, 10 of which were with the 49ers, where he, rewrote the record books in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I didn't think was going to retire.
Yeah, didn't he do a boxing thing?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's just ready to move on with life.
Yeah, it's about that time.
You have to be so committed. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the second that you start dabbling in other things and decide that maybe you want to have more of a life outside of football, you're done.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
because we feel like there's this big gap in football, but for them, it's just more preparation and daily, So I think that he is one of those people when he got into the boxing stuff, and he's like, yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff I can do with life. So good for him. Good career.
Yeah.
There we go. Things that are not good for careers. A 24th civil case is expected to be filed against Deshaun Watson. Not many days after case 23 was brought forth, and the news broke that a settlement was offered to the first 22 women that had filed suits of $100,000 each.
So when we were going through, I was thinking about some quick thought topics. I was gonna make this a quick thought thing. Is that enough? Okay, So what?
Wait,
if
you're gonna have to
this-
qualify what
Well, that's what
what
I'm
is
saying.
enough.
I was
A
gonna. I
number
was
of
gonna.
cases, number of
No,
money.
no. That's what I was gonna get there. $100,000 each. I feel like when you're Deshaun Watson and you make a ton of money and you like did what you did, it just maybe it's just me. And I guess if you think about it, it ends up being like 2.2 million, but like $100,000 to buy off someone in this situation, not enough.
Okay, and I'm gonna speak strictly from like what's been going on in the news and like my little limited legal knowledge. When you have 22 people, now 23, 24, who just witnessed Johnny Depp go after 50 and it gets reduced to 15, and then it gets kind of scrubbed down to 8 million, and you watch that whole thing get drawn through the mud, Deshaun Watson goes, "Hey, we don't got to go to court, and I'll give you each 100,000, or we can go through the mud, and you might not come out the winner."
But wait, no. If
This
Johnny Depp alone is getting $8 million, correct?
Right, but that was a very
Deshaun Watson is paying $2.2 million total.
and what I'm saying is and he's paying it to non-celebrities. Like celebrity versus celebrity just got reduced from 50 to 8. Celebrity versus 24 women who are not known to the general public, and watching it go sideways in open court, he may feel like, hey, I offer you 100,000 and we don't have to run this out in the open.
So just staying purely financial. I'm not trying to get like, super deep with the whole,
Yeah.
Why do the people that are not celebrities deserve less money than the people that are celebrities? Are you saying because his worth and the money, like because Deshaun Watson has money?
I'm saying that
not
they
as
don't
much
have
as-
the resources to go to bat against a Deshaun Watson legal team.
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And we saw, and in that case, if you're going to reference the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, you saw how much both of them got dragged through the mud,
Right.
with relatively high-powered attorneys at the helm. These women, in most cases, maybe potentially all of them, probably don't have the means to have that high-powered attorney. So we're going to get a whole lot of snippets of Deshaun Watson's attorney probably making them look silly.
Yeah.
I think
And
that when this is all said and done, the important thing that we need to take out of this is that the NFL needs to at least set him out for like a half season as punishment. Not because you were going through court battles, but as punishment.
And I don't want to make this a lengthy segment. For what? And I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, but he hasn't been proven innocent or guilty.
But if he's guilty,
At
It's
this
a
point,
big
it's not even a guilty. This is preponderance of evidence now in the civil case, right?
Right.
I don't know. I just don't like him.
And that's fair. And I don't necessarily like him
I think
either.
I'm-
But
I think my opinions are primarily emotional from
and I think you're right. It's right to have those feelings. But I guess when you're dealing with legality, I don't know that you can just, well, we got to sit him a half season just because.
yeah. That makes sense too. Damn it, I hate when Jim's a little bit right. Pisses me off.
So the NFL is drawing near to their end of this investigation. And the question is, does case 23 and 24 stop the coming to the end? Are they going to continue the investigation? And what does that do for the Browns?
I think the investigation will probably have to continue if there's more still coming to light, unless they're just willing to say, we don't care what happens from 23, 24 on. We have enough to make a decision, and whether that decision is this is an issue for us or this is not for us to decide because you've not been found criminally responsible for anything at this point. I don't know. I do not know. I have a feeling, though, the NFL wants to wrap this up because they don't want this to filter over in the start of the season. And the Browns, at this point, whatever for the Browns.
The Browns signed into a hell of a contract. They had to figure that this was going to come to an end. 23, 24 come out. They got to be sitting on pins and needles. And if you're Baker Mayfield, you're going,
Told you
huh,
so.
you done goof, did you?
Go Baker. Hashtag Team Baker.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go that far, but
Hashtag free Baker.
no, I'm definitely not going that far either. I think Baker has a history that we don't want to tangle with Deshaun here.
Okay. Next up, in other news, the NFL is considering doing away with the Pro Bowl or doing some kind of variation where they honor the NFL players.
Peace and blessings. See you.
So you're anti-Pro Bowl?
I just don't think it's interesting. I just think I think that if you told me you can either watch the Pro Bowl or you can watch more highly publicized like skills challenges, I would rather
agree.
watch the skills challenges.
I agree with that 100%.
And that's the discussion.
I'm thinking, yeah, I know, yeah. And I'm thinking like when you used to play Madden when you were young, and you'd be like the training camp games, like coffin corner punt. Like I would love that. Would be fun to watch. It doesn't need to mean anything, even if. And I heard someone talking about maybe you do it for like different charities. Like each event has a different charity, and like the winner, picks the charity that the prize goes to, or or the kicking charity. The winner goes. I don't know, but there's ways you can do it that I think I'd be way more interested
I
in
agree.
watching than.
Muff, it's your time to shine, buddy.
I don't know if it's my time to shine. I want to talk more about the Pro Bowl for a second. What if we had to choose a type of?
I lost him.
He's drifting slowly.
If we had to choose,
My box. Look at him go.
Yes, he is just kind of like drifting. It's like orbit, like space astro muff.
if we had to choose,
He is.
if we had to choose some type of skills challenge for NFL linemen to do, offensive linemen, what would be the most fun one to choose for offensive linemen?
Hot dog eating contest.
I was thinking, I was thinking the tire when they go in the middle of the tire and they tug and tug. What's that?
So you guys are truly want them to have a skills challenge. I want them to do something like something funny, like Jim said,
Hot dog eating contest.
something silly. Because
Yeah.
I mean, this NFL linemen, they just get beat up all year, right? Well, we don't need to beat them up in the skills
That's
challenge.
true.
Let's have them do something
Funny.
fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Dance off, lip sync battle.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers were in Pitch Perfect 3. Yeah, 2, 3, one of those. The match, the newest rendition of the match, has happened. I didn't watch any of this because I didn't realize it was happening. Like I knew it was happening.
I didn't either. Like,
Yeah.
I saw this in our notes. I'm like, that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
They did not publicize that well.
This is not a good one. I don't know how they missed the boat on this. I mean, I knew initially when it was announced, but I just didn't keep it on my schedule. So Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers played against Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. You would think the NFL would just want this all over the place. They played a 12-hole exhibition match at Wynn, Las Vegas. Rodgers drained a putt on the final hole to give the team a one-up win. They're raising money to donate to the Feeding America cause. So they raised enough money to be able to donate over 10,000 meals to that. There was some smack talking back and forth, mostly from Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, who I would have expected more to be talking trash in this one. So Rodgers leaned into the Pat Mahomes Kermit the Frog voice that's been brought to light a lot, and Josh Allen trying to talk some shit on Tom and Aaron Rodgers that didn't really pan out too well. I don't know. And then
Are you gonna say the quotes? Say the quotes.
Yeah, you have to.
Go ahead, Jim. You say the quotes.
A-Raj says, Kermit the Frog and Josh trying to talk shit on me and Tom. Come on. And then Tom says, go ahead.
I was just saying, Tom Brady says, Josh really hasn't backed up much on the football field in his career, especially against me. That was a zinger.
That was as much as Tom could muster.
I know. He's like such a nice guy. He's like, you stinky butt.
Stinky butt.
That shot stinks.
And
poorly.
Anyway, they played golf, right?
they
So
played
it
golf.
happened. How about real quick? Tom Brady reportedly getting offered bukus of money post-retirement to be in the booth, like without anything, like not even getting like the Tony Romo, like, I need a year to figure this out.
That's what I was gonna
Just
say. There's not even like a trial phase. Like, what if he sucks?
He's the GOAT.
That doesn't mean that. Listen, the best players make the worst coaches kind of deal. Just because he's good at football doesn't mean he's going to be great at announcing.
I think you're wrong, but okay.
I mean, I might be wrong, but are you willing to put that much money down? I mean, I will say it's going to bring people in. Everyone's going to watch Tom Brady
Yes.
do the show. Whether he sucks, they'll either watch it to see how bad he sucks or watch it because they're like, wow, he's good.
All right.
That's a fair point. I just talked myself out of my point.
and that wraps up, Jim.
The off season. 83 days, 83 days, 83 days till college football.
Who's that first game we're looking at? Do we know?
No, I don't. It might be Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Boo.
I'm pretty sure that's the first
I
game.
mean, I know that's the game you're looking forward to.
To be completely honest, Jim, I'm going to say this now. I'm rooting for Ohio State in that game.
That's why I love you, Alex.
I'll just be honest. Most games not, but that game.
Big
yes.
fan of you. Big fan of you.
Is this August 27th? Is this the date where?
Yes.
Yeah, there are more games than just that day, Jim.
That's all that matters, though.
Did we expect Jim to mention anything else?
Nebraska plays Northwestern.
So it's a Big Ten.
Okay.
Duquesne plays Florida State.
Oh my
So
God.
the big game that day is exactly what
How
I
am
said
I
it
going to
was.
choose between watching Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Duquesne?
Yeah, Muff.
I'm just
Although
saying.
Northwestern and
The first game of the season is not that game. This is just the game that is going to happen that evening.
the first big game of the season.
Okay. Moving on. Speaking of Notre Dame, they will change the lyrics of their fight song to include and recognize the daughters of Notre Dame. The lyrics will now read, "While her loyal sons and daughters march on to victory." What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I mean,
Doesn't
Good-
offend me that
good-
it happened. It
gooder
didn't
for
bother
them.
me.
I am actually shocked that Notre Dame went this far.
Of all colleges to do it, I'm surprised that it's
Right.
Notre Dame.
Did the Pope have to bless this?
I don't know if that's what had happened, but sure, Jim.
One time someone asked me, "Is the Pope Catholic?" Meaning, like, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
of course. And I was like, I mean, I would assume, like, how would he not be? And they were like, so it was not my shining moment.
It was there's a Pope shit in the woods moment, Alex.
Yes.
Next up in college football,
I'm gonna start using that as a Pope shit. What?
Jimbo Fisher says the feud with the GOAT is over. The GOAT being Nick Saban. He says it's over with. We're done talking about it. We're moving on to try to fix the problems of what we have here in college football. There are a lot more pressing things that would need our arguments. Saban says, no problem, Jimbo, at all.
So this was going to be another one of my quick thoughts topics. I was going to ask, do you believe that Saban really has no problem with Jimbo at all after all of that?
Yes. I believe he has no problem with Jimbo at all because he's the fucking GOAT.
Like, he doesn't need to have a problem with Jimbo.
Not at all. I think Jimbo sleeps at night with thinking of Nick Saban.
I think Nick Saban also sleeps at night thinking of
Nick Saban.
Yeah, probably. Oh, Alex is frozen. Frozen in your box. Frozen in your box. What do we do? I don't know if he'll come back. Oh, he's back.
Jim, you were frozen for a minute. I was scared and alone.
Apparently, this is an issue. It's an issue we could tangle with today. I don't think Saban has a problem with Jimbo. I think Saban now just has a problem with the establishment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
He's going to keep finding different people to make his points with. I think he's just done with Jimbo now. That's all.
I think when Jimbo and Saban meet, Saban's going to hang up as many points as he can, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to make him pay for opening his mouth.
If Nick Saban was a clout chaser and wanted to blow up on social media and be big in that way, he would just go after Dion. Jimbo's not helping him in that way. He'd go after Dion if he wanted to blow up that way.
Yep. Yep. In other news, in a shockingly open statement for Ryan Day, Ryan Day says he thinks it takes 13 million in endorsement deals to keep the roster intact. Day said the Buckeyes have been gathering information by talking to recruits and their families and getting a sense of what other schools might be discussing with NIL deals. He believes right now top shelf quarterbacks require 2 million in NIL money, and major offensive tackles and edge rushers are said to require about 1 million. What do you guys think?
Muff, I'm gonna let you take it first.
Number one, isn't this exactly what Nick Saban was finding exception to? The fact that you have to buy your roster with NIL money that's not supposed to be there to buy your roster. It's supposed to be there as something that you get when you are with the team and they have an opportunity for you. So, I mean, I understand that they and the Buckeyes are doing this research because you have to have this awareness, but I'm very surprised that he was this open about it, because it just put a price on your roster is what it just did.
Yep, exactly. I would have never said anything out loud.
And I think I'm similar to like what Muff's saying. I'm like, why you shouldn't need $13 million. The point of it is these people are directly paying these players what they are intending to pay. So if Nike wants to make a t-shirt for someone, then the money should be there because Nike has paid that person themselves to make the t-shirt. It's not because you promised them this money to come here and we will find you endorsement deals.
Yeah, I think this is ridiculous. If you're a recruit if you're thinking about going to Ohio State like Arch Manning, and Day comes out and says top shelf quarterbacks require 2 million, the first thing I'm going to say is, give me 3.
Right.
Like,
and that's not what the point of NIL was supposed to
be. Right. In other news, I'm going to try to tie these two together. The state of Ohio has allowed sports betting and will begin in January 2023.
Congratulations, Jim.
It's a great day for me, but
it's a great day for Muff, dude. Muff Knack.
It's a great day for Muff Knack.
I wonder, I'm just hypothetically speaking, what will happen to Ryan Day's budget with that?
I don't think the two are tied together.
I disagree firmly.
Tell me how this is getting filtered from sports betting to Ohio State University to the football team.
It's a state university
or endorsement,
right?
It is a state university, so tax money.
The tax money is going to go up, and budgets are going to increase.
But those budgets don't go to NIL.
You sure?
You can tell me the Ohio State operating budget is an NIL. That Jim, that's the school is paying them. NIL.
Explain to me how Oklahoma.
Yes.
So before he jumps my shit, my theory is
Yes. Oklahoma, got it.
Go Oklahoma. On. If Oklahoma can pay their players $55,000 a semester,
but is Oklahoma doing that, Jim, or is that through boosters? We've said that the players are getting $55,000 as part of NIL. I don't think it's Oklahoma is paying them, Jim.
I don't think it takes much to divert funds to a certain direction is what I'm saying.
I'm saying I don't think that the state is able to do this through NIL. NIL is not that Ohio State's paying them. NIL is there is an opportunity for them to get money for doing X, Y, and Z things.
Could you say, and I don't know what the rules are, but does that make a college player like able to do a deal with like a FanDuel or a DraftKings? Like they can do like maybe all of a sudden they're doing commercials, like Ohio State's doing some kind of like Ohio State football players are doing some kind of commercial to promote the start of sports betting. Well, then the DraftKings players who were in that commercial,
I think you'll see
that's where I could see it benefit. I don't know necessarily that directly from the taxes, but I could see them as like advertising campaigns and stuff increase. How long before you see ads on jerseys?
That's a good question.
They're already there.
Like, I mean, like a Nike check or something.
Yeah, that's an ad.
I
It's
know.
promotion.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
like,
but I'm talking like
obviously,
FanDuel
DraftKings
on the
thing.
back of the
Yeah. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
right.
Is it going to be on the 50-yard line where Baker Mayfield planted the flag, Jim? Is there going to be a DraftKings logo there?
For the right
Go ahead and
price.
take the next one. Let's move on, Muff. You dick.
Dot the I on the DraftKings.
That's it.
The I King.
That's it, Jim. There it goes. All of it's down the tubes.
You see the High State marching band doing? Yeah.
They're gonna
God,
do strip. They're gonna do script DraftKings.
God damn.
More NIL news. Texas lawmakers are considering a bill that would allow high school athletes to earn monies from NIL.
No. Stupid.
Only in the state of Texas.
Stupid. Period. College, I get a little bit. There's a huge commitment in time that's going into that. High school, stupid.
Stupid.
That's my final word on it. Stupid. Those kids need to get a high school diploma.
They are, and getting paid.
Well, they don't need to be, but then all of a sudden, I'm going to blow off my math homework because I'm getting paid to do basketball. Like right now, you're supposed to be a student athlete, a student first. I think high school's way too young to start this NIL crap. They're not 18. They're not legal adults. They're minors. I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
We already have the sports factory high schools, like was it IMG Academy and all of those. Let's be real, Alex. They're not going there to be top-notch students.
I know, but I don't like the thought of an NIL deal in high school is too young. Now, if they want to do like AAU basketball NIL deal, something like that, I could see that happening.
What? Okay, Alex, you're drawing a very skewed gray line.
High school athlete playing for a high school
As
basketball.
long as they're not in school getting paid. As long as it's not during school time.
Because I don't think it's fair to the kids in school. I mean, when you're that young, no.
I can get paid in the summer, but I can't when the bell rings.
I guess when I think of AAU, I don't even mean NIL. I could see like an AAU team doing like a sponsorship with someone and getting paid as like a team. So then that team gets better like equipment and stuff like that. But just to pay a high school athlete, like I don't know. I don't like it.
When I can leave high school and to go to the NBA.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Give me my NIL deal in high school.
What is it? The old man on the porch? That's me.
That's you right today. I think so.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it. I'll learn it.
Go ahead, Muff, if you're still with us, if you're not frozen.
He's with us.
Okay.
So blink.
Okay. The NCAA Division I Council announced on Wednesday it is waiving the initial counter scholarship limits for 2 years within Division I football. This way will allow programs more flexibility over the next 2 academic years to fill rosters and use scholarships how they deem fit each year.
I didn't understand this point. It was we put it on there. I put it was in the email.
Jim and like much.
Yeah, I did not understand this. And I read it like 3 times.
Yeah. We're not real smart enough. Can you help?
So the scholarship limits of whatever 100 was 120. I think they are waiving that 120 or at least the incoming class, because remember, you still have all these COVID years piling up.
Mm-hmm.
And if the COVID years continue to pile up with all these grad transfers, they're providing flexibility so that I don't know if this is over the 120 or if it's how they're being used or how. So house players that are transferring out, how new players, how red shirts, I don't know how that's all being incorporated into your 120 number.
Because you end up with more players because someone's still there that should have been gone, and then it's punishing the incoming classes. Okay, I can get on board with that.
I'm all right with this then.
That's fine. All the other mixed up crap, I'll deal with this. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. How many days till college football, Jim?
83 days. 83 days.
Then we can watch Northwestern play Nebraska.
Sure. And now, a dramatic reading of KD versus Stephen A.
I'm Stephen A.
Hello, my name is Kevin Durant, or KD.
And I'm Eddie Johnson.
Michael Jordan is responsible as much as anybody for changing the game for worse. He was so phenomenal that the NBA marketed the individual, the audience gravitated towards the individual, and the game became a bit more individualized. What I'm saying is, you were thinking team until Jordan elevated it to another level. And from Jordan, then you had the Kobe's and the Vince Carters and others that came along thereafter, and the individualization of the sport, particularly because of the money that came with it, became more of a focal point.
My theory is that guys like Steve, Skip, and Shannon have changed the game for the worse. Players like Steven and Michael can only push the game forward.
News for you, KD Trey 5. We ain't going any damn place. For every Stephen A. Smith, Skip and Shannon Sharp and others, there's thousands more coming down the pike. We're not going away. We multiply. Sorry.
I disagree with Stephen A's take, but he has the right to state his opinion because of one reason. He put in the damn work. I'll be honest, I can't stand the other two mentioned, but they put in the work. Athletes today are too damn sensitive and focus on comments negative.
Nah, these media members are sensitive. As soon as an athlete disagrees with these outlandish hot takes, y'all take it as a personal shot at your character. LOL. It's insane how y'all can't take what y'all dish out, but it's the athletes who lack mental toughness.
And that was a dramatic reading of KD versus Stephen A. Smith. This is Quick Thoughts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Quick Thoughts. We'll start this week in the NFL. Zeke Elliott states that he knows he has something to prove in the 2022 season. My question for you two: do you think he has proven himself in his career this far, or do you agree that he still has something to prove to make his career? Let's start this week with Muff.
I believe that Zeke still does have something to prove in his career. And I think it's that he's still a top-notch running back in the NFL. When he was good, he was really good. And then things fell off a little bit, and he hasn't had the greatest supporting cast with Dak being out for the season and all that. So I think this is just a way for him to solidify his, we'll say his legacy. So I think I think he has something to prove, but I think it's more to himself than the league.
Okay, Jim.
I think that he needs to stop saying this. I feel like he says this every offseason. Stop talking about it. Just go do it. Let's see the Zeke from Ohio State where you just put your head down, called for the ball, and start smashing people, instead of the Zeke that's worried about how high his hair goes and what he gets Dak for a birthday gift and which nose ring to put in. Put the helmet on, put your head down, and run the damn ball.
I like it. We're going to shift gears completely over to women's sports and the NCAA softball.
Yes!
I know that if anyone was wondering, that was Jim.
I'm very surprised that the first name is part of NCAA softball is somebody.
That's right.
Yes. So Jocelyn Alo opens the game with a two-run homer that launches undefeated Oklahoma over Texas 7-2 and into the semifinal round. Undefeated Oklahoma State beats Florida 2-0 to get into the semifinals, and UCLA dominates Florida today to make it to the semifinals. Texas has a shot at redemption as they will face Arizona to make it to the semifinals. Jim, we'll start with you. What do you think about NCAA softball?
Love it. First off, Oklahoma, they have basically the twin terrors, Jocelyn Alo, and I can't think of the other girl's name, but their home run just mega stars. Oklahoma State, fantastic, also undefeated in the tournament. I think when those two meet, it's going to be just a hell of a game. UCLA coming back through. Watch them against Florida today. They look lights out. They have a good pitching core. Texas and Arizona should be playing as we record. So I can't live look in right now because I'm also watching updates from the Celtic Warriors game. But I think this is a great series. I love the facility that they play at. I love college softball. So, and I'm a big Jocelyn Allo fan. Love her.
As previously mentioned in many episodes. Muff?
Yes.
Texas is up 5-2.
Thank you, Muff. Something the Big 12's good at.
Alex, I'm just going to let you roll through this. Jim said his piece.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. We'll move on. NBA Finals and etc. The NBA, in a battle of teams that Katie has left and Kyrie has left, the Celtics versus the Warriors. The Celtics are leading the series 1-0, and game 2 is currently in progress. Let's get a live look at what the score would be right now for us. It is 45-43 Golden State with 3:54 left in the second quarter. That will mean nothing to you guys because when the show's over, you'll know who won. But it was fun for me. In game 1, Curry set a 3-point record for the most scored in the first quarter, and they still ended up losing the game. The other point that we'll make is, do the Splash Brothers still got it? Overall, who do you guys have winning the series? Muff, do you want to address some of those points?
Yeah, Splash Brothers still have it. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson will continue to be pillars to this franchise as long as they can stay on that same team, and the Warriors will come back and win this series and the title.
I think the Splash Brothers may be missing a step, and I don't see them winning the series. I want them to. I don't think they win the series.
No, I'm on the Celtics. I want the Celtics to win, but
All right.
opinion. Next topic in the NBA world: Boston Celtics players Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams, and others have wore shirts in support of Brittany Griner, stating "We are BG" on the back. And there's a QR code that links to a petition calling for her safe return, calling Joe Biden out by name to take action. Jim?
You don't have to read the next point under there, Alex, because I'm going to mention it right here. I think
Okay.
it's cool that they did that, and I think it's cool that they addressed the White House by name. My only issue is Russia wants to trade Victor Bout, aka the Merchant of Death, for Griner. Now, why is he the Merchant of Death? Because he's the biggest arms smuggler in the history of the world. Russia's like, we'll give you Brittany Griner if you trade us in the draft for this mass murdering fuckhead. So, like, I understand we want Brittany back, and I get it. We got to do this a little bit more diplomatically. We obviously don't want to let this arms trader out. And then, like, he's on the top of every wish list Russia ever has when they want to do hostage negotiations. So there's a reason they want him loose. That's just my thought.
Muff?
Yeah, I'm glad to see the NBA players are stepping up with this. They're taking interest. They're being active in what they're doing. So that's good. Beyond all of this and however this ends up, as we've said before, Brittany Griner gets back here, and I would like to see some NBA players put a little bit more out there towards their WNBA counterparts, as we've talked about in the past. Put your money where your mouth is now.
But it's a rough spot to be in when they want to trade the Merchant of Death for Brittany. What can the NBA do?
I'm talking about in supporting the WNBA financially.
Oh, as far as the league goes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought she wanted them to give money out. No. I was like, oh, okay. I see what your point is. Okay.
Yeah.
My fault.
Are we done with that?
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Next NBA point: Kobe Bryant Game 1 jersey from his first playoff series sold for $2.7 million. Would you buy something like this? And if so, what would it be that you bought? I forget who I started with.
It's
I think it's my turn. Yeah. I'm just gonna go something weird. I want to be able to own the base that Lloyd McClendon picked up and threw across the field when he was with the Pirates as the manager. Just to
That's a
say,
good one.
I have it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Would you pay that kind of money for it?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I just want to say that if I could buy something, I'd buy something like
That's
that.
fine.
That's a good talking piece.
I would like a pair of Mickey Ward's boxing gloves. That's what I would like. How about you, Alex?
Honestly, grew up with Kobe Bryant being my like absolute sports idol. So when I hear that, like Kobe Bryant game worn jersey from first playoff series, that would be pretty high on my
Really?
list.
All right.
Only other thing might be a Hines Ward Super Bowl jersey.
I could see that for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Fair enough.
if I'm going to pay $2.7 million, I think I'd rather have the Kobe Bryant jersey.
Yeah.
And our final NBA topic: Nike's Phil Knight and the LA Dodgers co-owner Alan Smolinski, I'm very tired, have placed an offer to purchase the Trailblazers for more than $2 billion, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Jim?
I saw this and I don't know that I would buy the Trailblazers for $2 billion. I don't see the value there. That's my take.
This is another situation the rich get richer. At
Yeah,
this
thanks.
point, NBA franchises are only going to continue to elevate as far as their financial return. I don't see at this point any major sports league being a bad investment with an established team. So that's what this is. It's another opportunity to get more money.
Yeah, but I also agree with Jim a little bit. $2 billion is a lot for the Trailblazers.
For the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or other teams, maybe not, but yeah. All right, well, let's move on to baseball. Jim loves baseball.
Yeah, I did a lot of these notes for baseball. I want kudos.
You did. I'm proud of you. Mets pitcher Max Scherzer, who was nursing an abdominal injury, hurts his hand when his dog bites him. This comes days after shortstop Francisco Lindor fractured the top of his right middle finger while closing a hotel door. Muff?
Baseball, baby. I don't know. This happens every year. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. That's what I wanted you to say. Thank you. So first, Scherzer went to console his injured dog and got his hand bit. Okay, so I really don't feel as bad or like to make fun of him because he was trying to do the right thing. And it's kind of ironic that the Mets are going through these weird injuries. My whole point putting this in there was I was hoping Muff would remember this seems like an every year thing that these guys get hurt doing stupid shit. Wasn't it last year that like a guy hurt his hand smashing his video game controller against his table?
It happened.
You would think that like these guys whose hands are very, very important, they would protect a lot more.
He did say that, I read up on this, and Max Scherzer did say that it's a non-story, that the dog, he said it was like the dog got hurt by something and he reached down to like help it and it was just scared and like freaked out and it like nipped him. And
Right.
He literally took one day off from throwing and the next day was back to throwing. He said, so it's a non-story.
But still stupid. Injuries are
It is.
hand injuries.
I mean, what are you going to do though? You can't not have a dog just because you
Have my wife console the dog. My hands are valuable.
You sound like a surgeon having like insurance on your hands.
I would if I were a baseball player.
All right, moving on. The Yankees commentator calls Nestor Cortez Nestor the molester. Cat apologizes. Nestor forgives him. Thoughts on that situation, Jim?
Again, every year. Actually, it's probably every 6 months.
So, if someone says something stupid.
A commentator says something stupid. I don't understand.
Was this even a hot mic situation or is this just like on purpose?
It was on purpose.
This is on purpose.
Muff.
So it's a Twins broadcaster, former to a Yankees player.
I messed it up. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I just want to make. No, I just want to make sure because this plays into it. And this broadcaster, this is not the first time he's done something. He was trying to come up with a punny name to describe this, but obviously he missed the mark very badly by using this. Nestor did say yeah, whatever. Like, I feel like that's just a thing of like, and Nestor's like, I mean, that's not me. So, I mean, as long as everyone's on the same page here that he made this up because it rhymed and it has nothing to do with me as a human being, then okay. So he's giving him the pass, which he probably shouldn't. But I mean, at that point, what else are you going to do? This guy's a broadcast. He's in the Hall of Fame. Within the past year, he's been put in the Broadcaster Hall of Fame. So it's time to put him out the pasture and just be done with him.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Bye, Felicia. Even if they just say it at the end of the season, like don't make it a big deal. Just at this end of the season, like you're not welcome back next season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Albert Pujols becomes the 10th player in MLB history to reach 3,000 career games. He has stated already that this would be his last season. He will be retiring. If he plays in all the remaining games, he will land 4th on this list behind Pete Rose, who played 3,562, Carl Yastrzemski, who played 3,308, and Hank Aaron, who played 3,298. Do you have any comments on Albert Pujols' career? And I guess I was trying to think how to word it. Where do you see him like in the ranks of history? Like, is he like a top 10 baseball player of all time?
I think it's me.
Okay.
I think Albert Pujols. It's just the thing because whenever I was growing up, Albert Pujols was the thing, right? He was the player.
Yeah.
He was the most dominant batter, and he got caught up in some discussions at some point. Although he's never been linked to any like performance enhancing drugs or anything like that. I think to any major degree, I think he just caught up in the conversation because everyone was good at that point. So I mean, I think he should be in the conversation of a top 50 all-time player. I just don't know how high he climbs that list.
Yeah.
Baseball. I don't baseball.
Ooh, baseball. I think it says something to be able to play that many games though too, and be mentioned in the and I think that says something. He didn't have a bunch of suspensions. He took care of his body. He didn't have a bunch of injuries. So
is he a
good on
cheating
him.
bastard?
No.
All right, good for him.
All right, let's move on to hockey. Something Jim also loves to talk about.
Hey, I watched the game
Yeah,
4
I was gonna say.
or game 3 rather. I'm sorry.
So the conference finals are going on. Colorado beating Edmonton 3-0. Not looking good for Canadian hockey. The Rangers leading Tampa Bay right now 2-1. And there's a game today.
You want me to finish this?
Tampa and the Rangers.
You want me to finish this?
Yes.
So Tampa was tied 2-2 when they scored the go-ahead goal with 40 seconds left, breathing life back into the series and making it 2-1 in the series. So, because apparently it's in the semis, it's apparently like almost damn near impossible to come back from a 3-0 deficit. So Tampa's still in there. Edmonton is not.
Yeah.
So there's the finals talk. We really don't need to go back and forth on that. That's our finals update for hockey. But the next point you can hit up, Alex.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I want to say, first off, I believe I'm on record saying that whoever came out of the Rangers Penguins was going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals.
We're not there yet.
I'm just saying. And 2, I don't think that the NHL is excited about Colorado making it to the finals because they want McJesus to be in the finals.
Who's McJesus?
Look him up, Jim. Look him up. He's the next one in NHL. And they're Edmonton, I don't think was supposed to make it this far in the conference in the NHL's playoffs. So I think they were hoping that he was going to push through because they wanted him to be in the finals so that they could maybe get some excitement around it. Yeah.
Got it. Fair enough.
The next hockey point. The Calgary Flames, Johnny Gaudreau, says he is pretty sure his neighbors were shoveling his snow for him all winter to try to convince him to stay in Calgary. He said that he gets overwhelmed with love from people who want him to stay, going to coffee shops, etc., and just people outpouring of love. So my question is, if you were a professional athlete and you were considering if you were going to leave or stay with a certain team, would you take that kind of stuff into consideration or just chase the paper? Muff?
I'm a professional athlete. I'm being paid to be in that particular league, I'm going to make the decision that's best for me. And if my family's involved, a family, if that, especially in hockey, where, your career is kind of like football, most players do not have extensive careers, and they're making less money. So there's a good chance I'm probably going to be chasing paper because I already know that my window is small and the money I can get is small as well.
Jim?
I think it depends on what town I'm in. Like, and I think about this all the time. So if I'm an Ohio State coach, I would have a hard time leaving Columbus because I'm sure this shit happens where they're shoveling my driveway. They're doing all the things and making me feel a part of Ohio. And I think that happens in like Tennessee, Alabama, if I'm a coach. If I'm an athlete, and let's say I'm in Arizona or, one of them towns that aren't really a sports town.
Yeah.
Like if I'm a hockey player in Columbus, I don't know that I'm going to take that in consideration because we're not a big hockey town. So it depends on how much love I get and how good we are. So yeah, I would take it in consideration. To answer your question, I would probably take it in consideration, knowing me.
Fair. I think that's kind of where I land too. And I like what you said, like it depends on where. And especially if it's like your hometown. Like
Right.
if I was playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, growing up a Steelers fan, growing up an hour outside of Pittsburgh, it would be harder for me to choose just to leave than it would be if I was playing for like Dallas.
I think it's harder when you have kids too. And I hate bringing that sentimental part into the sports podcast, but like
You're gonna uproot them, and
if I got to take them out, if the town's showed me a lot of love and showed my family a lot of love, it's going to be real hard. Like, I don't know how Tom Brady left New England. No idea. Like the weather in Tampa, I guess, would have been like, I don't know how he did it because he's got those kids there and they're going to school and he's got family, and I don't know how he did it.
I hear you. All right, let's move on to golf.
First off, I'm real pissed about this. Before we even get into Dustin Johnson, the Memorial is in Dublin, Ohio, and you don't have anything about the Memorial? Well, go ahead, Muff.
Not as important to me right now.
Cousin go to Dublin, Ohio.
Who won it, Jim?
I mean, for the
Herschel. Billy Herschel.
Billy Horschel. Got it.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Billy Horschel?
Not a thing. That's why I was hoping you'd say something.
There we go. Billy Horschel won. There's your Memorial talk.
All right, go ahead.
He won at Jack's place.
All right. So Dustin Johnson commits to join the Saudi Golf League, LIV Golf. Is it Live Golf? LIV Golf, Muff?
LIV Golf.
Okay.
For these purposes.
Okay. For reportedly $125 million, joining names such as Sergio Garcia, Louis Oosthuizen, Muff.
You did good.
Okay. I thought so. Kevin Na. League will be headed up by Greg Norman, who took the reins after Jack Nicklaus turned down about $100 million to take the helm. How many more notable golfers will make this jump, and do we think this league is actually a real threat to the PGA Tour? Jim?
I'm going to lead with a question. Muff, if I win a tournament in the Saudi Golf League, does it count as a major?
No. This is nothing to do with the PGA Tour.
It's not a threat then.
Oh, the PGA Tour is banning people for joining the Saudi League.
To me, it's not a threat. In my mind, it's not a threat because there's so much glory and gusto around major tournaments, and like we see Tiger chasing majors and the history and all of that. Sure, financially, and sure they'll pull some bigger names and things like that, but the PGA will always be the PGA.
Muff?
I think this is a real threat over the next 5 years, the PGA Tour. I just don't know where this league goes after that. The fact that Dustin Johnson, just by saying, hey, I'll play, is getting 125 million, which I think is more than Tiger Woods' career earnings on the PGA Tour. Granted, he has all these other streams of income, is a big deal. The fact that they offered Jack Nicklaus $100 million plus to be like, hey, you'll run a managers for us, yeah? You want to come over here? And he said no. So they got Greg Norman, the Shark, to do it. But what you're seeing is a lot of European players make this jump. And I think that's because less travel, probably, if they can play more events there. And the prize money is higher, reportedly, for this.
Can you cross streams? Like if I'm playing in the Saudi Golf League, I can still be in PGA Tour events. Or
No, I'm so saying the PGA has said if you go play for LIV golf, you will not be welcome back to the PGA Tour.
ever, or just
I don't know. Ever is the word they're going to use at this
Dustin
point.
Johnson never played in the
You
Masters.
cannot be. You can't be simultaneously doing this. You can play between the European, the Tour, and the PGA Tour because they have like that reciprocation. This will not be one of those situations.
So okay, just me being dumb, is the Masters considered the PGA?
Yes.
So
everything that you think of when you think of golf, Alex, is the PGA Tour.
So Dustin Johnson can never play in the Masters again.
Correct.
Why would you do that? I would never do that.
125 million
For something so unknown.
Chasing paper.
But it's so unknown. I mean, you get paid $125 million once and it falls apart. I guess not. No one said they could never come back. There might be like a whatever, but whatever. Moving on to another sport that is not one of the big, five, but tennis. Nadal wins his 14th French Open title. Random question: who was your favorite tennis player of the quote unquote modern era and why? Muff?
Is that okay? Good.
It was the modern era.
I don't know.
50 years, Muff.
Whatever you want it to be.
Just want to make sure that we're still in that. Andre Agassi has always been my favorite tennis player.
For any specific reason or just for fun?
I mean, just because he was popular when I was growing up, and I liked his style on the court. He was gritty. He ran around a lot. He wasn't a power player, and I think that now, just like we see in baseball and other things, the power is the big thing, like the big serve. Agassi was not that. That was Pete Sampras. That was not Andre Agassi, and that's why I think I liked him.
Gotcha. Jim?
Serena Williams.
Okay.
She's just a bad woman. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just impressive and build herself, that whole family. Like that King Richard movie is the way they brought themselves up is inspirational.
I just wanted to throw tennis in there for today. That wraps up Quick Thoughts.
This is Mount Massive.
Yodelay-hoo.
All right, guys. So this week's Mount Massive is top 5 teams ever to never win a championship. I'm going to start.
I was actually going to bring that up this week, that you never start.
I'm going to start. And I'm going to tell you right away that there's an Ohio flavor and a personal favor. This is straight bias. Okay. So number 5 is the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. They went 15-1. They missed a field goal in the NFC Championship. They had Chris Carter and Randy Moss, Chris Carter, the Ohio State alumni. I just love those guys. So I think that was a missed opportunity.
Do you remember who missed that kick in the circumstances?
I don't.
Gary Anderson. It was the only kick he missed all year.
Yes, I remember. Yes. Mm-hmm. 2007 for number 4, 2007 New England Patriots. They lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. They had an undefeated regular season. I put them on the list because I hate Eli Manning. It's now out there in the public now. So my best kept secret. I hate Eli Manning.
I was going to say that was best kept secret. I was not expecting that.
He should have went to the Chargers, that bastard. Anyway. Number 3 is the 1960-61 Ohio State basketball team. They were 27-1, perfect regular season, lose to Cincinnati in the finals.
So Ohio smashed Ohio there.
Yeah, and Bobby Knight was on the team.
Yeah.
Really, like, how do you lose Cincinnati? But whatever. Number 2, the 2008-2009 Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron's on a mad run and then loses in Game 6 to Orlando. And there's a lot of controversy. Is that the series where like teammates might have been sleeping with his mother? Yeah.
But Delonte West.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pot stirrer right there.
Yeah. And then my number one, and this is in like it sticks in my craw all the time. 2012 Ohio State football, no postseason due to the tattoo scandal. Urban Meyer's first season with the team. I was at that Michigan game where they won, and that felt like, why are we not going? This sucks.
Well, do you think
That
about
was
it
horrible.
now it would be like a non-issue?
Right. It sticks in my craw so bad that they probably could have made a run at the national championship.
That's fair.
Well, at that point, was this BCS era?
I think, yes, it
Yeah,
was.
That would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
The computer would have told us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Jim, what point you're next?
I'm gonna say you, Alex.
Okay. All right. So I always forget to order mine when I actually make them, but I mentally ordered them. So my number 5 is the 2018-2019 Tampa Bay Lightning. They were the first ever President's Cup winners to be swept in the first round by no other than the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yay.
They finished 62, 16-4 in the regular season, were swept in the first round, knocked out of the playoffs. My number 4 is the 2007 New England Patriots. Similar to what Jim said, except for I like Eli Manning. I don't really have a problem with him. It was a really fun game to watch. What was his name? Tyree.
David Tyree.
David
I
Tyree.
think.
That was it.
Yeah.
Caught it against his helmet, backward catch. Good game.
Mhm.
My number 3 is the 2005 USC Trojans. Made it to the championship game, and Vince Young all over them.
I hated that game.
I know. I mean, I was young, but when I like rewatch clips from it and stuff, I always enjoy the concept of the game. Number 4 was the 1991-1993 Michigan Wolverines, the Fab Five era. Lost to UNC and Duke in their 2 championships. And number 1, I really almost can't even say it. I'm getting nauseous. The 2007 WVU Mountaineer football team. No questions at this time, please.
Somebody missed a kick, didn't they?
Yep. It's not his fault. Because they played better the whole game. It's the same thing when people try to blame like a game like on a missed foul call or whatever. There was a lot of game other than that one moment. It was not opportune. But I will not. He's a kid.
You know who we're talking about, right, Jim?
And then Pat McAfee.
That's it.
He got 27 death threats after that. That is wild to me that you can, like, if you are a grown adult actually threatening death upon an 18-year-old, or not 18, I guess he was probably like 21, because I think it was his junior year. I mean, come on, man. That's my Mount Massive.
I just want to. You think that they could have?
Yeah, they were literally, if they would have won that game, they would have gone to the national championship.
Yes.
And
It wasn't like a joke. Like that's.
and winning against who?
I don't remember who it was, but
Because in the game it was Ohio State versus Florida.
okay. This was like prime, like Pat White. Like we had a good team
Who do you think they would have beat?
either.
Okay.
They would have had a chance.
Okay. It's your
Yeah.
list. I'm not going to argue with you.
I mean,
I think you just did.
I said no questions, please.
All I said was who you
I said
thought
no
they would beat.
questions, please. Gong. You had your Homer list. I can do whatever I want with mine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Muff.
All right. Number 5, I've got the 97-98 Utah Jazz. This was the last dance MJ year. They came in that year with Karl Malone, John Stockton. Karl Malone, I think, was the MVP. And many people were saying that the Jazz were going to be the team that finally put Jordan to bed. Obviously, it did not happen, but that team was thought to be one of the best teams to not have won an NBA championship. But what are you gonna do if you go up against MJ?
I read your list. Go ahead.
Number 3, number 4, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Well, obviously, we potentially have options here. I'm going to go with the 1990 season where we had wide right from Scott Norwood. That could have been the season and the Super Bowl that put the Bills in a different trajectory if they would have been able to win that game.
They almost made my list. They were honorable mention.
Yeah. Number 3, I'm going to go with the 2001 St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf. They missed the opportunity to win a Super Bowl by an outstretched arm and an Adam Vinatieri field goal. Should have been some foreshadowing for the future there. Adam Vinatieri is going to make a lot of teams potentially lose out on opportunities for Super Bowls. Number 2.
That one was an honorable mention for my list.
Yeah. I think the greatest show on turf is what makes that.
Because you stuck again.
Everybody knows that the greatest show on turf.
Hold on, Muff. Hold on.
Hold your horses, Muff.
Everyone knows the greatest show on turf. Like that's
We're so
something that
close.
He's stuck.
everyone
He's
knows.
stuck.
Everyone knows the greatest show on
So
turf.
close.
He's
He doesn't
glitching.
even know. He doesn't even know. He isn't gonna know. They're gonna know.
Oh,
There
he
goes.
waves his hand
Wait.
at us.
I think he just blessed us.
You guys back?
Already
You back with me now?
Yeah, you're at number 2.
Go back to number
The
2.
greatest show on turf. They're there. Number 2, 84-85 Georgetown Hoyas. They went 35-2 in the regular season behind Patrick Ewing, John Thompson at the helm, losing by a combined 3 points in their 2 regular season losses. They're upset by Villanova in the NCAA tournament, a game and a tourney in which they were heavily favored to win across the board. One of the major upsets in college basketball tournament history, as far as what everyone expected coming out of it. Okay, we still with me here?
Still good.
We
We're
still
with
got you.
Number 1, 2002 Miami Hurricanes. 4 All-Americans on that team, including Ken Dorsey, Willis McGahee, Kellen Winslow, and Sean Taylor didn't even make the cut as All-Americans. This was, in the height of the U. The Hurricanes had 2 Heisman Trophy finalists on that team in Dorsey and McGahee. Obviously, McGahee's devastating injury in that game plays into a little bit how that game probably ends up. And we obviously also have the controversial pass interference call that could have changed the outcome of this game and
It
extended
wasn't
their.
controversial. It was pass interference.
This is my list, Jim. You had your time to be an Ohio homer. I have my time to be the anti-Ohio homer.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought we started this segment admitting that we were all kind of homers.
Okay, go ahead.
Could have changed the outcome of the game and extended the Hurricanes' winning streak at that point to 35 plus games, continuing to cement.
But it didn't.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that tattoos made you miss out on an opportunity, Jim. And I think WVU would have beat Ohio State that year if they met in the championship.
Probably, but they wouldn't have got past Florida. I will say, as far as the Willis McGahee injury, still probably my top 2 injuries I've ever seen in sports.
What top what?
Gruesome.
Oh, gruesome. Okay.
I remember sitting, because I was at a wrestling tournament. If my buddy Goose is listening, I had won all 5 matches that day, and I had to do 5 more the next day. But the Ohio State championship game was on, and I remember the hotel was packed full of wrestlers, from top to bottom. It was a big tournament, and that McGahee hit. All you heard from floor 1 to floor 7 was, "Oh!" It was disgusting. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen. His knee went out the back.
Was it Gumby?
It was bad. And he still played in the NFL. Kudos to him.
Really? That's the kicker. Not
I
really.
would have I'd have given up right there. I'm retired.
I'm retired.
Done.
All right. Well, that leads us to the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Unless you two want to do a Yodelay here in here.
No, we're good. Let's send us home.
All right, everybody. As a reminder, follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sportstuffw/Jim Aversi and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Like, rate, subscribe, follow, comment, review, Did I miss any action items?
Nope.
Be sure to keep telling people about this. Picked up some new listeners over the weekend in my
We
golf
did.
trip. On my golf trip. In some
We got some views.
Oh, I picked up one at the hospital too.
I got a couple at work.
I told a
potentially
friend, I'm
some
like, "Oh, shit."
potentially some new guests as well. Some other degenerates that may be able to
Nice.
join us during football season. Give us their thoughts on some games. So
Nice.
we're gonna make it keep going. The rocket ship to the moon. Past the moon. Where are we going after that? Mars? We're going to Mars?
Sure.
I feel like that's the first stop.
I guess it. We'll go to Mars. And to help us get there, everyone has to do the thing by telling a friend, making a friend, and be
Be a friend.